In this video, I'm going to talk about masturbation, what Judaism, Christianity, and Islam says about it. I'm not going to take too much of your time. We're going to go straight into the point. Let's start with Judaism. Masturbation is permitted in Judaism for both men and women. The only thing that you need to make sure is that you do want to do it in a public place. This is the only restriction when it comes to masturbation in Judaism. And the reason behind this is because Judaism sees masturbation as something very natural and normal. In fact, there was even a blessing that was given by the rabbis for someone who wanted to engage in masturbation. They were taught to say, "Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who has given me a good and pleasing heart." So when it comes to masturbation, like I said, it's completely fine as long as you're not doing it in public. Let's move on to Christianity now. Masturbating. It's actually a sin in Christianity, and it's considered as a mortal sin. Why? Because the Catholic Church sees masturbation as an act of self-gratification. And according to the Church, any sexual act outside of marriage is a sin. In fact, masturbation, it's forbidden even before the actual act occurs. Like, if you have the intention of masturbating, then it's already a sin in the mind of God. Now let's look at the Bible. What does it say about masturbation? In Leviticus chapter 20, verse 16, it says, "If a man has sexual relations with a female who is not his wife, both the man and the woman shall be punished by death." So according to this verse, you can see that having sex outside of marriage is forbidden. And also in Matthew chapter 5, verse 28, it says, "But I tell you that anyone who looks at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery with her in his heart." So here, Jesus is saying that even if you just look at a woman lustfully, you have already sinned. It's important to note that when it comes to masturbation, the Catholic Church teaches not only the act of self-gratification through sexual stimulation is considered a sin. However, having the desire or the temptation to masturbate is seen as a struggle that all Christians face, and it is something that should be resisted. To resist this temptation, Catholics are advised to pray, to practice self-control, and to seek help from priests or religious leaders if needed. The Catholic Church also teaches that forgiveness is possible if someone does engage in masturbation. Through confession, and by showing genuine remorse, one can receive forgiveness and absolution for their sins. Now let's talk about Islam. What does it say about masturbation? In Islam, masturbation is strictly prohibited. It's considered a major sin, a great sin, and it's forbidden for both men and women. According to Islamic teachings, masturbation is a form of self-pollution, and it is something that can have serious consequences in this world and in the hereafter. The Quran clearly forbids any form of sexual gratification outside of marriage, and this includes masturbation. In fact, there's a specific hadith, which means a saying of the Prophet Muhammad, and it says, "A man who performs self-masturbation by rubbing his private parts with his hand up to the point of ejaculation will not enter paradise." Now, in another hadith, the Prophet Muhammad warns that Allah will punish those who indulge in masturbation, along with those who assist them in doing so. And he said, "Whoever assists a person in committing a sin, he and she who assist him will be held accountable together on the day of resurrection." So, not only is masturbation a sin itself, but assisting someone else in doing it is also a sin. To better understand what Islam teaches about masturbation, it's important to know why it's prohibited. The main reason is that Islam emphasizes the sanctity of the body and sexual energy. According to Islamic teachings, the body is a gift from Allah, and sexual energy is something that should only be used within the bounds of marriage. Masturbation, therefore, is seen as a violation of these teachings and as a misuse of something that is sacred. Another reason why masturbation is forbidden in Islam is because it's considered a form of shirk, which means associating partners with Allah. When a person engages in masturbation, they are essentially worshiping their own desires and pleasures rather than submitting themselves to the will of Allah. This, therefore, is seen as a form of idolatry, and it's strictly prohibited in Islam. Furthermore, Islam teaches that masturbation can lead to a number of negative consequences, both physical and psychological. It's believed that frequent masturbation can cause a person to lose control over their sexual urges, leading to a decrease in libido when it comes to having sex with one's spouse. Additionally, masturbation can lead to feelings of guilt, shame, and a distance between a person and their spouse. In terms of the punishment for masturbation, it's important to note that only Allah is the ultimate judge and forgiver of sins. While the Prophet Muhammad did mention the severity of the sin, he also taught that repentance and seeking forgiveness is always possible. Muslims are encouraged to seek forgiveness and to strive to avoid masturbation in the future. So that's what the three Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, have to say about masturbation. As you can see, while Judaism allows it, Christianity forbids it, and Islam strictly prohibits it. Each faith has its own beliefs and teachings regarding this matter, and it's important to respect and understand these different perspectives. What do you think about what these religions have to say about masturbation? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. Also, if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future videos. You might find it really interesting. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time!